place where we can go and be alone. So come away with me, nobody has to know where we gonna go.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Hayes Homestead. Thank you very much for watching. First job this week, before we get on with the driveway, because I believe I've got a 2-week wait on materials because they're waiting on supply. So we actually have only 3 weeks left to use 27 runs to the tip, because we don't get a curbside collection. We do our we take all our stuff to a recycling centre, so we have a red bin, yellow bin, etc., just like everybody else, and we take that to a recycling centre. The pros is that we can actually take it probably a little bit more, or some bulkier rubbish, instead of having to fit everything into a bin. Cons is we obviously have to drive 10k up the road to drop it off. Swings and roundabouts. Anyway, so first job, we've got to move out the mower, try and clear some of the bits out so we can start loading up this trailer, because I've got to take that tomorrow morning, and then fill it again and take it the following day as well, because we've really got to use these up, because it resets at the end of the month, and we've already paid for them, so we better crack on with it.
Tell me like you like it. Tell me like you like it. Tell me like you like it.
finished taking a load of rubbish to the tip. I didn't use all my tricks, but I definitely got pretty close. So you can probably tell the temperature's dropping pretty bad. It's quite chilly. Our old log burner, it only burns wood for maybe 2 hours, no matter how much I fill it up, which is super annoying. We're going through too much firewood, and that just doesn't warm the house properly. So we thought, well, end of financial year sales, bit the bullet. We went and bought a Lopi Liberty, I think it's called, and we are going to go pick that up tomorrow. I say we, it is obviously the universal we, because it will just be me. Well, that's okay. It's cold and Danny wants to stay at home, which, I mean, that's fair enough. I'll go and pick that up tomorrow, get everything ready, and the following day we'll throw that baby in. It's just me, unfortunately. It should be a two-man job because it's more than 200 kilos, that log burner. But big brain time, I guess. Modern problems require modern solutions, something like that. What is it with me and not knowing how these sayings go? I'm probably getting them right, I think, but I'm just second guessing myself. Stupid. Anyway, so new log burner in before we get on with the driveway. Still waiting on materials, so it's not like I'm rushing to get it done for any particular time. Indy's first birthday is going to be in 3 months' time, so as long as it's done before then, I don't think I can really argue with that. I can definitely get it done in 3 months. Maybe. So here we have it. We've got the collar off the ceiling, and we've pushed that outer casing of the flue upward, so we can now cut here, because we're not actually replacing the flue just yet. I know it looks awful, but actually in the next 12 to 18 months we're gonna replace the roof and actually move the log burner. Even though I'm replacing it now, when we renovate in here, the log burner will actually move a bit over and rotate. So we're going to replace the whole flue and everything at that point when we do the whole roof and this end of the renovations and extension. So for now, we really need something that's going to work, because I mean, look at the state of this. This is what it was like when we moved in. The plate, which I've now removed, is so buckled and warped from all the heat, and there's no bricks on the side or the back to stop the heat from warping the casing itself. And as you can see, it's warped so bad it's split, which is why we really have to get this fixed, because this is quite dangerous. I am really worried about carbon monoxide poisoning, which is one of the main reasons I decided that this has to get done. So we bit the bullet, bought something nice that will last us a long time. So hopefully this old baby is burned to last, and it's time for bigger and better things. So let me run you through the master plan. So we're going to lift the wood heater on the pallet and move it right up against the door sill, just like that, because it will be quite a snug fit. So we have to make sure we line it up pretty bang on. The second thing is that we're going to need to then roll it off the pallet. Luckily it's facing the right way, so we'll roll it off the pallet using these trolley jacks. I've got a second one, and we're going to basically lift it up and roll it on these hardwood planks. Now the problem is those these little jack things, the rear wheels are ever so slightly too wide for one board, and the gap is too narrow for two boards, so it looks like I really have to rip one down. so then I can screw them in, because there's no room for error here. This is very heavy, and if it drops and I break the glass or I break something else, then well, we're in trouble, because this thing wasn't cheap, and it's just me, so we have to overcome. Once I've removed all the timber and the little chocks around here, there are actually two brackets that hold it down onto the pallet, and they're bolted onto the frame of this itself on little threaded nuts. So you have to undo these before you can actually lift the unit off the pallet. I should have found my ratchet spanners sooner, because I did this with a shifter and it actually took me ages, which is really stupid, because a ratchet spanner, it would have taken me literally a minute to do. But lesson learned. Anyway, that's what you get when you do things in the morning, when you've got a morning brain. So once you take these brackets off, it's actually free from the pallet. Now this frame goes behind this bit of metal just here, so this is actually the main casing. It's quite thick, it's about, I would say, probably 5mm thick steel, or cast iron, or whatever it is. So I've got these bits of timber, and I'm going to use these trolley jacks on these planks, which I'm going to screw to the pallet. I'm going to get it level with the doorstep, like I said before. I've drawn a line down the middle of this so I can line it up with the casing, so I'm not going to cause any damage, because I don't want to lift from this point. I want to lift from here. I don't want to lift from the bottom, because I don't want to crack any welds or anything. I want to make sure that I lift it from a very stable point, which will be this bit here, and I've drawn a line so I can match it up, so I know it's not going to be wonky and fall off. And then the aim is to just gently wheel it down the planks, which will be into the house, and we'll just hopefully get it into the house that way. Fingers crossed. I mean, I would strongly recommend getting someone to help you do this, but I don't have that option, so we're doing it like this. Let's get on with it. So this gap here on these sides is pretty much 70mm, so I'm going to go get some bits of timber, because it probably won't be safe trying to unload it off the tines. The tines will jiggle around. It'll be a recipe for disaster. So we're going to go get some 70mm bits of timber to chock underneath the 3 stringers on 2 sides, so then it sits flat, and that should give us a good enough level so we can wheel it into the house. So off we go. So there you have it. We've marked out where the tab is inside this flue, where this needs to sit, and we've marked it with the laser level, and then I've used a bit of tape. I've gone all the way around to make sure that I follow that line, and then if it is ever so slightly too short, we can always use the feet adjusters to just bring it up to level, and then that will fit nice and snug. So happy with that. I put the cardboard here to stop me from getting swarf all over the walls while I cut with the grinder. I know cardboard is flammable, but I'm going to spray it with some water so it doesn't catch light. I'm hoping this does not take very long because it'll be quite messy and quite loud, and I need to get this finished. Okay, let's get on with it. So you can see here I concocted this big frame to hold the flue up into the roof while I pull this one out and put the other one in. At one point I was thinking to myself, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And I should have tried to cross that bridge when I was thinking about it. But here I am now, this is what I've come up with. So let's see how we go. If it falls out, it means getting up in the roof and putting it back in. You can see there, that's where the tab is, and that's where the flue is. So we got 10mm of gap. It'll come up a little bit more and drop about 5-8mm. To finish off, you're going to need two things. First up, you're going to need some fiberglass rope, and you're going to need a heat sealant. Now, the heat sealant and adhesive has to be rated for a high temperature. It needs to be suitable for wood heaters and fireplaces, and it's got to be ideal for fiberglass rope installations. So we use this as a sealant, put it down into the gap, and then we push this rope in on top of it, and then put a bit more sealant over the top, smooth it off so then it seals that gap. This is 9mm fiberglass rope, but I probably could have gone with a 6, but this does compress really well, so it's actually not too hard to slide down into the gap, so it actually has a really good seal on it. So once that's sealed, as it says on here, allowed to dry overnight. You can use a fireproof mortar, tends to be a little bit more pricey, and I feel like this is more than adequate to get the job done. So this and this, seal it up, wait overnight, light it up. So the timber is here, came a little bit earlier than I thought it was going to. It only really took about 10 days, I think. So pretty much we're ready to go. The only thing we don't have is the gravel, and that's only because I don't have anywhere to stick it. Plan is to get the edging and the weed mat in for a portion of it, get that done, and we can start just putting the gravel on top of that and then pretty much go from there. Anyway, so I guess I will catch you next week. Enjoy the video. If you don't already, please subscribe, and I will pretty much pick up where I left off next time. So catch you around. Welcome.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling out my name. They telling me to head your way, down your road and past your gates. Keep your eyes on the